My wife kicked me out at dinner. Next morning, she got a call about the $780,000 mortgage. The call came in at exactly 8:47 a.m. I was already up by then, dressed, alert, and staring at the computer screen like I had been for the past few days. On the other end of the line, a calm voice said, "Mr. Harlan, the requested mortgage transfer has been processed. The funds will be released within the hour." But before I dive into all that, let me say this. I've noticed the channel's been slowing down a bit lately. If you're here and you like these stories, hitting that subscribe button is the easiest way to show support. It's fast, it's free, and it really helps keep this community growing strong. I didn't say a word, just kept my eyes fixed on the window. The sky was this dull shade of gray, flat, and still, not a breath of wind in sight. "Is there anything else you need from us?" the voice asked. I hung up. Then, for the first time in weeks, I smiled. I pictured them still tangled in bed, her whisper wrapping itself around another man's name like a ribbon on a gift. I imagined the faint floral scent of her perfume, the smell of betrayal, floating down the hallway. Maybe they were in the kitchen by now, laughing over scrambled eggs and toast, playing house like they'd won. They thought I'd walked away defeated. Thought I had no fire left in me. That I just rolled over and handed them everything. They were wrong. Dead wrong. Sunday dinner had always been a tradition in her family. Same lamb roast, same bottle of wine, same smug expressions passed around like a second side dish. But this time, her words hit different. Colder. Sharper. "This house belongs to me and my new husband now," she said, not an ounce of regret in her voice. It came out sugary sweet, like she was offering me both an eviction notice and a slice of cake in the same breath. I didn't answer. Didn't need to. My silence cut deeper than any comeback I could have thrown at her. Then, like it was nothing, she slid the wedding ring off her finger and set it down next to her glass of wine. Like it was just some trinket. A paperweight. I stared at it for a second. Gold. Familiar. But now it looked cheap. Her mother gave a small nod, like she'd been waiting for this moment. Like she thought she was watching some kind of victory. I didn't say goodbye. Just placed my keys on the table, turned, and walked out. I didn't look back. But I wasn't walking away broken. No, I was calculating. I didn't shout. Didn't plead. Didn't ask why. I just observed. And I learned. 2 nights later, I logged into the mortgage account. Still in my name. Still completely under my control. I started combing through the history, every single transaction, each monthly statement, all the signatures. Her name wasn't on a single damn thing. Legally, she had no stake in it. She'd lied. She always did, about her paycheck, about who was covering what, about what she supposedly deserved. I thought back to those late nights she said she was working, those weird business trips that didn't quite add up, the way her voice dropped when I walked into the room mid-call. I hadn't asked questions back then. That was my mistake. Now I was documenting everything. I filed a formal request for full liquidation of the mortgage and shifted the property over to a shell company I'd quietly set up 3 months prior. Back then, I thought I was just being paranoid. Turns out, I was preparing for survival. She turned me into something I never imagined: sharp, cold, strategic, dangerous, even. 2 days later, I stumbled across her wedding registry online. It was pathetic. Some cheap plates, a flimsy bed frame, a coffee maker that looked like it belonged in a motel. It was almost funny. They had no idea what real value looked like. And they sure as hell didn't realize I was still watching. Then came the call from the bank. It was done. $780,000 transferred. Title cleared. The house? No longer under their names. Well, not that it ever truly was. I printed the paperwork, 3 clean, crisp pages. Legal. Binding. Final. That Thursday, right around mid-afternoon, I drove back to the house. Their car was parked out front. I didn't even glance at it. Just walked right past, like I was stepping through a bad memory. I knocked once. She opened the door in a bathrobe. And the second she saw the folder in my hand, her smile disappeared. "What's this?" she asked. I didn't say a word. Just handed it to her. She flipped through the pages, and I watched the color drain from her face like water down a sink. This isn't possible," she stammered. "The house was never yours," I said calmly. "Not legally. Not on paper. Not yours. And it sure as hell was never his." I saw her mouth twitch, trying to form some sort of excuse, but her timing was off. She hadn't practiced enough for this kind of scene. "But you left. Sunday night. You walked out," she started. "I wanted to see what you'd do when you thought the game was over," I cut in. "When you thought you'd already won." That's when I heard footsteps behind her, him, the new husband. He looked younger than I remembered. Softer, too. Weak chin. I was darting like a scared rabbit. I turned toward him, gave him a nod. "Good luck finding somewhere to sleep," I said. Then I walked away. Didn't look back. The house sold the very next day. I didn't bother going inside again, didn't take a farewell lap around the place. Instead, I parked across the street and watched from the shadows as the moving truck pulled in. She cried. He yelled. The neighbors peeked from behind curtains, trying to look casual, pretending not to be entertained. That kind of small-town pity, half sympathy, half gossip. I filmed all of it. Not for court. Not for revenge. For me. For the version of me that once swallowed humiliation like rusted nails and called it love. They didn't just cheat. They tried to erase me like I was some side note in a story they were rewriting without permission. But I wasn't some forgotten chapter. I was the author of the ending. The sale closed that evening. Funds hit my account before sundown. Clean. Fast. Quiet. Enough to start over. More than enough to make damn sure they couldn't. I donated every single item from their wedding registry. Anonymously, of course. Left the receipt tucked in a Bible at a local shelter. I canceled their honeymoon, too. Had the confirmation sent to her mother's inbox. And just for fun, I left a voicemail on the old woman's phone. Hope you enjoy the motel. You always did love modest things. Never waited for a reply. I don't chase echoes. There are some things in life that crush you. And then there are things that forge you from the wreckage. Pain? That's just truth that hasn't been sorted yet. Once you organize it, label it, and shelf it, you stop feeling it. You just remember. And I remember how it felt, handing over those keys, walking out the door like it was just another Tuesday. But the truth is, I didn't leave anything behind. I baited the trap. They took the bait. And they lost more than they ever knew they were holding. I only kept one thing. The key to the front door. Had it melted down and cast into a bullet. No gun. No threat. Just a symbol. A reminder. You don't win by fighting. You win by letting them think they already have. Until they realize it's too late to run.